So this right here is merely just an introduction to who I am and what I have accomplished and what I aspire to accomplish in the near future. So I grew up in New York in the 90s and early 2000s. I went away to college, went to Winston State University. From there, I worked in the cell phone industry, did very well. As a result of that, I managed to become an assistant district manager. That's the highest level that I reached in that business. So basically it was sharing the best practices within a district, which generally is about 9 stores, and redirecting poor practices throughout that district. From there, I became an educator, so I am a former educator. That's what my second degree is in. However, my foundation is business. I went away to DC and I worked for DCPS for a couple of years and I did okay there. It's documented that I am an effective teacher, as I was graded by a master educator, and everything was a great experience, and it was all about growth and development. So my first year, at the time I worked for the company, you fall into one of 4 categories. You're either ineffective, developing, needs improvement, level 3, effective, level 4, highly effective. And there's a lot of great incentives that come with being highly effective. And I know a few people that have that under their belt. My first year educating was a very challenging year. And the reason why it was so challenging is because when I was a student teacher, I was working in an affluent district or school, meaning that all I had to focus on was the content and not classroom management. So when I went into DCPS, which is a 40-40, which stands for one of the lowest or the lowest 40 performance, the top 40 lowest performing schools in the district. So out of X amount of schools that's in that district, the 40 schools that are performing the lowest will be classified as a 40-40 school. So I went to a 40-40 school, and as an educator there, I discovered that classroom management is just as important as instruction. And that was something that I had to work on and become better at. So my first year, I received a 2 on my evaluation, which meant that I was a developing educator opposed to being effective or highly effective. However, I was grateful that I wasn't ineffective. That following year, put a lot of hard work and dedication into the business, and I managed to grow. And as a result of that, I was classified as effective. However, my career in the education business was short-lived because that was the end of it after my second contract. After I completed my second contract, went back into the phone industry, and from the phone industry, I moved. So when I moved, I got into the car business. Obviously, my background, I have a strong background in sales and customer service, and I've done so well based on with respect to commission-based structures that I decided to go back into an industry that will have unlimited possibility and probability for me to grow financially. So I went into the car business, and I'll do a video on that eventually as well. Overall, I loved the experience I received and the opportunities that I had networking in the car business. However, I just failed to give myself enough time to grow in that business as a highly effective car salesperson to make enough money to my standard to provide for my lifestyle. So I got out of that business, and then I got into the trucking industry, which was short-lived. And I'll do a video on that as well. But that was also a great experience. And I actually decided to start investing in that company because I believe in their growth. People that know me personally, I always tell them I look at that company as the Amazon of the trucking industry. My experience there, once again, was short-lived. Don't ask me why. I'm always switching it up into different careers and things of that nature. I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation for another video and more content. Nevertheless, throughout that journey, when I left the trucking industry, I had a great opportunity, and it's actually what I'm doing now, which is a vendor. And then some of you might say, well, why the heck does he call himself MrLYFT if all he's been doing for the past 5 minutes is talking about all of these careers except for Lyft? Well, newsflash, while I was doing all of that stuff, my hustle was Lyft. So I still do Lyft to this day. It's something that I enjoy doing the most. However, it's not enough money for me to solely be doing Lyft. So I do a host of other things, such as HVAC for Walmart, where I monitor the refrigeration of that company. And then I also work for the post office once a week. And I think that's another great opportunity. So, and in the midst of me managing those 3 streams of income, I'm also a beginner investor. And I say beginner because there's a wealth of knowledge that I don't have. And in order to be, I would say, an experienced, a master of anything, or even to give yourself strong credibility in terms of having experience with something, you need to be consistent with it for at least 7 years. That's just my philosophy, personal opinion, and popular opinion of many people. So I do have multiple brokerage accounts, from Stash to Coinbase to Robinhood and Fidelity. Those are my 4 biggest accounts that I watch on a daily basis and monitor and manage on a monthly basis. So that's just a quick story on who I am and what I'm about. Obviously, managing 3 streams of income. I'm a highly productive person, which means my time is very limited. And I have decided to move forward and build my brand and the wealth of knowledge or wisdom that I have gained on my journey thus far by creating a YouTube page. And instead of going on YouTube solely for entertainment, being a part of the community that provides an avenue or a channel for education and food for thought and inspiration and motivation and things of that nature, that I also go on YouTube for myself. So with that being said, exceed expectations, and with a seed of faith supported by application, there's no excuse why you can't experience your dream and manifestation. I'm out.